I was just like, nope, this is a lot.
Yep.
But going on to our list of stuff, I was asked by someone, how do you deal with superficiality in the gay community? And my response to that was, you gotta not care. And it's a little bit more involved than that, but you have to figure out who you are, figure out what you want, and figure out where your place is in the gay community. And while I can't tell you, nobody can kind of tell you where that is or where you're gonna fit in, it's up to you to figure that out. And along the way, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. And you're gonna interact with people who you probably wish you didn't interact with, but your goal is to put yourself in safe environments that help you grow and develop as a person, because you're only on this earth for like 87 years. Like, and you can only drink for like 60 of them.
That's true. I mean, just in general, like any space that is involved with people who you have an attraction to, there's a superficial quality to it. Like, are you not looking at somebody's physicality at all? Is that not something that you like want?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of want them to have a little bit of superficiality. Part of being like having people be attracted to you
Is
is
that superficiality part
is
of
that
it.
they think that you are attractive, and that is part of what makes it feel good
Yeah,
to begin with.
I think that that's like the thing that is the first like barrier
Yeah.
realistically is the like physical attractiveness, and then getting to know them more, because like for sure I'm like you want to also like their personality, but the thing that's getting you to walk over there typically is going to be that physical appearance first.
Yeah, I mean, an example, I have a broken hand, and I can't tell you how frequently people walk up to me and they're like, hey, what happened to your hand? And I'm like, oh, it's broken. And they talk to me. Like, it really is that simple. I mean, it's the physical characteristic that you can go talk about that's like a simple icebreaker, and a lot of them say terrible things. Like, the amount of people who have gotten into like sexually explicit broken hand finger jokes at a bar, like, you can talk to me, you can flirt with me, like, you have my attention in the moment, and what they say is like, did you break your finger? I'm gonna stop myself from going any further on that, but like, no.
I think it's also different, like, depending on what you're like going into the conversation for. If you're going into it for like friends, I think it doesn't necessarily have that same superficiality aspect to it, because like at that point you're not necessarily looking for that like physical attraction level that you would want to be there if you were like trying to pursue that person. So I think if it were more just friends, like, it doesn't need to be superficial, but I think when it's not, you do have that.
And I think that it's so common with people outside seeing it as so exclusive and like closed off, because it's a bunch of groups of friends. And then it's like, how do you know everybody? And you're like, well, it's just because I'm friends with their friends. So like, we have something in common.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to like build those relationships through that way.
But the first time I met Edward, I mean, it actually wasn't the first time. I think I met Edward like 3 times before I knew who
Probably.
you were.
Yeah.
And I'll let you actually tell the story.
Well, it's just like being in gay spaces is where you then just like interact with each other. So then he ended up coming over to my house once, like
On a
after-
Sunday at like 1 a.m.
Yeah, because it was just like after a group of people had been out, and I was like, okay, like, we're all gonna go. Do you guys want to come too? Because that's how you meet and mingle. And he sat down on my couch, and after I berated him with my favorite post-bar activities, which is mostly looking through like a Fabergé egg coffee book or something else exciting, like
Not just any Fabergé coffee book. I believe it was a Hermes.
no, it was no. The Fabergé egg book is the one with the big pictures of the eggs. You're
Yes.
talking about the Hermes pop-up book.
I am talking about the Hermes pop-up
It's
book.
fun. They're nice
a
to look at.
variety of
People like
books.
to look at pretty things.
That's why I'm in the middle.
Exactly. And so he's like, I really thought I hated you. as we are in my living room, just relaxing, having spent a whole day together. And he's like, yeah, I really thought that you seemed not enjoyable. And I was like, thank you so much.
I thought I wouldn't like him.
And it's honesty that makes it so you're like, sure, I can be friends with this person because I know that that's something that they vibe with. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like kind of weird. Like, this is probably the first one that I can probably talk outwardly about, like, that experience, because it was so weird. Not weird, but normal, I think, actually. It was so natural. Like, met Edward at a bar. He was friends with someone else that I know. And we, like, went and got dinner beforehand. But, like, at that dinner, I didn't know that. I thought you were just, like, Chris's
Yeah.
boy, like, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't recognize that I'd met you multiple times before. And when the Real Housewives moment happened, when my friend, like, confronted me about, like, what was the exact quote that he asked me? We're at a dinner with like 7 people. Most of them have none of the context into our relationship. And my friend looks over at me and he says, he said that when we go out together, people don't flirt with him or try to go home with him because they think that we're dating, him and I. We're not dating. We have had 20 conversations about that. We have a very, like, clear rule about no kissing at circuit parties. Now, you can Google what a circuit party is, but, like, to have a rule within, like, your 2-person interpersonal friendship that you can't kiss at a circuit party, that implies that you've probably talked about your relationship before. And
Definitely.
so we were at dinner and this person, like, asked me about that, and they're like, Ryan, I can't go home with people because they all think we're dating. And I mean, this one night I, like, unstrapped his fanny pack and shouldn't have done it. It was really funny, but shouldn't have done it. And I was just messing with him at a bar and he had this outsized reaction whenever I'd undo his fanny pack. And so I did it more times than I should have, which, bad Ryan.
I was standing there most of the time. It was pretty funny.
He would just completely fall and drop his whole fanny pack and everything. And it really was just like a Lululemon fanny pack. And he did it back to me one time and I just, like, grabbed it and then put it back together and had no reaction whatsoever, which is what he should have done. If people are trying to mess with you, don't give them the reaction that they're going for. Continue existing as your present self and they'll stop. Like, I only kept doing it because, one, I'm really good friends with him, but, like, it was funny.
It was just funnier each time. And also being someone who was just watching it, I was like, I'm not gonna give him a warning even because I could see you, like, lurking for it.
Yeah, and again, it wasn't my best moment, but it was really funny. Afterwards, though, we ended up going to a restaurant, and fun fact, this restaurant, the owners stormed the Capitol, so on January 6th, they took all of their staff, they flew to Washington, D.C., and the owners of this Asian restaurant to storm the Capitol. Is that true? Not sure. But have I heard that and spread the rumor? Absolutely.
Everybody's heard that rumor, and I think it's just like a fun one. No, yeah.
Explains why their prices are so high.
I mean, I get why they're a Republican. They own 3 restaurants, and
Yeah. So we were just sitting at dinner and my friend asked me about, like, how people think we're dating, and I look at him and I was like, Johnny, I have a broken hand and I'm still having people. You not being able to flirt and date with people probably implies that they're not into you. And it just exploded from there.
it was deeply entertaining. I just like sit back and I'm like, I flat out describe it as being a Real Housewives moment.
It was like 9 p.m. on a Sunday at a restaurant, and we were like the only people there, and we were like all gay people sitting in the middle table in this restaurant, the only people being served. And my friend, while he's not yelling, he's very loud.
Naturally,
Very-
just in standard conversation.
Very loud, and I'm trying not to, like, I de-escalate. I was trying not to make it like worse, and at one point he's going on the whole like boyfriend thing again, and then, like, you know, Chris is trying to calm it down because Chris is nice and whatnot, and Edward chimes in and says something along the lines of,
I don't.
"Are you being cocked block, or are you cock blocking yourself?"
Are you being cock blocked or are you cock blocking yourself? And it's just accurate.
Silence on his part. He literally didn't know how to like process that, respond, and he just got frustrated. And now he's going off on Edward. Okay, I didn't even know that they knew each other. I didn't know that they actually knew each other prior to, like,
Yeah.
I thought this was I thought Edward was Chris's boyfriend, not boyfriend, but like boy toy,
Yeah. Thank you.
who was like just coming into this dinner and was watching this and was just like speaking the truth. And when you started getting yelled at, I was like, oh my god, he's getting attacked by my friend. Okay, so now I'm shirtless. We're at a restaurant. restaurant where the owners storm the Capitol. Every year they get all of their employees together and they go and practice storming the Capitol. That's why the prices are so high. It's an experience when you eat there. But basically, there were like 8 of us, gay people, eating at this restaurant on a Sunday at 9 p.m. Yeah, he asked a variety of questions at a restaurant that I already knew the answer to. What is this, Nick?
This is the clickbait.
This is the clickbait?
The thumbnail for the.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hi. I'm cute. I'm nice. I mean well. But there are lessons here. So yeah, I mean, my friend put himself in a situation where I had power over him. I am not interested in him romantically, but I do like him as a friend. He's a very close friend of mine. I have a lot of really close friends. I'm relatively touchy with all of my really close friends, not in the like.
Bullet. You don't do that to
When
somebody.
someone
I didn't
hurts
do
my
that.
feelings,
Not gonna go into that. But
The pause when you're talking to the camera, not the TV.
well, that's partially why I like,
Don't. Yeah, but I like being able to see. It's nice being able to see, but
No, I'm gonna get it.
there. So yeah, back to the table conversation. Don't let people have leverage over you. I think is the main takeaway there.
Well, and the thing is, him being at that state makes it so that leverage that you had over him was transferable to anyone because he was already so heated. And so when he was heated about what was being said to you and that you in turn were cock blocking him, he was like, you're cock blocking me by not by always being around, and because you were always around, that would be the reason. And I'm like, it's a room full of a bunch of gay dudes at the gay bar. Like,
yeah, I mean, people thought we were dating. Sure, I'm like touching with him. I give him a hug when I see him. I undid his fanny pack. Should I have undone his fanny pack? No. Was it funny? Absolutely, it was funny. But I didn't want this to be what our main thing was about. But don't give people power over you.
And on to our second topic, being pretty. Which I think in our previous iteration of this, we said we had plenty of experience.
we do have. It's something that you only
That we
grow
know.
into.
Yeah, I don't think we're actually that facetious.
On to our next topic, being pretty in the gay community. So I brought 2 of my prettiest friends here, Nick and Edward. Or, self-described as pretty. So Edward identifies as...
I do identify as part of the pretty community. Not everybody can be that. And yeah, I'm proud to say card-carrying member.
But it's the misconception, and a lot of people, it's very similar to like the NRA. You just sign up and you're pretty. There's no real entry into the pretty community. You just like say you're pretty, act confident, and be charismatic, and learn how to outwardly project confidence. And people don't think about it too much.
Pretty is a lot more of a personality trait than a physicality.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's all about just your appearance. There are definitely aspects of your personality that make you pretty.
There's also like the parts that you have control over versus the ones you don't.
Yeah.
Like reasonably and realistically, you can fix your eyebrows if they're out of whack. You can get a haircut that's better suited to you.
Yeah.
You can wear clothing in a way that better suits your
And I think
physical
taking
qualities.
like feedback on that too is like also important. Being open to feedback about it, because I think you're, oftentimes comparing yourself to others and like getting that feedback. Just like don't be offended by it. You don't have to agree with something that somebody tells you,
Yeah.
but you don't have to be offended by it. You can just move on with your life. Again, we were saying don't let people have leverage over you.
Building on that, Nick, as like a pretty person, let's say you find someone attractive and cute. Okay. How would you go up to them at a bar? Or so I want to avoid like interacting on Grindr. I would say like Grindr and Tinder and a variety of the dating apps are terrible ways to build relationships with people. My goal when I'm on the app is typically to get them to Snapchat or Instagram and like actually talk and then meet up relatively quickly. I don't want like multiple weeks on Grindr. I don't want to watch the ads. Even though like Grindr follows me on Twitter,
Shout out.
the ads are terrible. Buy Grindr Premium. This isn't sponsored by Grindr, but Grindr Premium, $10 a month, $100 a year. It's better than seeing a Candy Crush ad every 30 seconds that pops up between each like Castlevania.
Yeah, it's like save the guy from drowning.
Yeah.
The fires.
I've got some bad news for you.
He's dying. He dies every time.
Chris's least favorite thing about me like by far that he like verbalizes as his least favorite.
You play the grinder games?
I play the game from I play the one with the king and the I do. I do it on the CTA. It's kind of a good way to let people know I'm a
card carrying pretty
homosexual.
boy and a Castlevania.
Well, it's that I just want people to know I'm a serious gamer. I don't really put up with any of these in-home consoles. I'm trying to play the games that are serious, matter, and are able to have a
The
major
ones that are
marketing
in the
buzz.
people's faces.
Yes, exactly. So I play it.
I just take my shirt off on transit, and people are like, "He's crazy," or
Oh yeah, did we not
It's
cover
gay.
that in this clip? The shirt change.
"Oh yeah, I took my shirt off because I'm pretty."
Pretty people can do that.
But also, it depends on the bar you're at. So in Chicago, there are a lot of different like gay bars. There's a large density, but the main one that people go to is Sidetrack, and the Sidetrack is where you kind of start your night between like 9 and 11:30, maybe 12, and you kind of go there. That's where you can get drinks. Drinks are $6 to $7, $9 if you get like a nice vodka, and then like I do pair vodka with mixer, and it's great. Love it. The bartenders can be amazing. Hit them up, give them tips. But yeah, Sidetrack is where you start. But if you go to Sidetrack and take your shirt off, they're gonna think you're drunk and kick you out.
Other bars, there's the expectation of you not having your shirt on. Like it would be weird to be in a certain part of a place like Hydrate.
Yeah.
That's
or
a little bit
Charlie's.
more of a late night
Yeah.
activity. Hydrate and Charlie's. If you were wearing a shirt,
Well, just it's like, is it a comfort thing or is it? I mean, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of times where I've been in both Hydrate and Charlie's, shirt on, just not feeling like.
You very frequently have a shirt or a sweater on. I'm not shaming or attacking you for it.
No,
but
I
you
mean-
very frequently do, and you don't seem uncomfortable having it on.
I think that it comes down to the like, do I want to take my shirt off? Not like, do I feel like I need to? So it's not like I feel like the option is always there, and there's nothing stopping me, and there's nothing like when my shirt's off that I'm like super self conscious about or anything like that. But it's the like, do I feel like participating?
there's some big amounts of pressure when like you first start to go to those places because people will encourage you to take your shirt off.
It's
And
kind of scary too, and you're like,
Yeah.
"What am I? What do I do?"
why is
Like,
everybody getting me stripped down?
it's like I mean, I've gone to places, and Nick has this one friend who I didn't know well for a while, but he went to Hydrate the other day, and like he checked all of his clothing.
Full option, full possibility.
She's great though. A wonderful, wonderful person. I would be amiss not having her in my life.
Wait, they were the person that like saw me skipping down the road from your car. So there was this one time I was leaving the bar, and I'm known for skipping. If you go to my Instagram, TikTok, or a variety of stuff, like, I skip. It's very safe. You can get away from people who are trying to assault you, and it's a much faster way of like moving places. And so I was like going around the corner, and I know where Nick parks because I have his location. So I always can find that. He was driving me home, and I'm going around the corner, and I know he has someone else in his car. So as I'm like going around the corner, I just start like bolt skipping, twisting and turning, but I just acted like, oh, I didn't even know you were there, and I like got to the car, and
Karen didn't have any reaction.
you can say it.
No, yeah, no, I don't think. Other than the fact that he's like, oh yeah, like you skip, you do skip. I think it was a confirmation that it's a real thing and not just in the videos.
It's an actual personality.
It's a characteristic.
Mhm.
It's on the board.
Skipping.
Skipping.
Like that he was asking us how. Isn't he like the pro at this?
Is this a USB-C?
It is USB-C. I have the new phone. I bought it specifically so that I could record this. I look pretty good for not working out in like 3 months. I haven't lifted a weight in 3 months, and I still have a bicep. That's kind of crazy.
That's nice. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. I have abs more than I haven't done any ab exercises, so yeah.
Like,
When you subscribe
yeah.
to the channel.
I mean, it's a good way to get the attention that you want.